Alright, I want to make a quick video for those of you out there who are interested in solo play and want to know what exactly the grind is like in this game. So I started off with a warrior. I was playing solo and I am playing the campaign rules. So I got 16 souls to begin the game off with, and when you play campaign you have to pay 2 souls to get a card from the deck. So I went ahead and drew just a crap ton of cards looking for something good. And the vast majority of my initial draws were nothing but gems, 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 and more gems. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's see if there's any more in here. Yep. 6 and an ember. So there's 6 gems and an ember that I got in my initial draws. And then I also went ahead and wiped out a couple of the level 1 encounters, which is how I got some of these other draws out there. I got some armor that took a decent amount to level up. It wasn't really useful. A couple of these weapons are very good, this one in specific, but I had to do max out on some of these items in order to use it. And then I had a ring over here that I would have to slot into an armor, and these armors are okay, they're just not a tremendous benefit right now. So really a whole lot of this was just absolute junk. And so as you can see, I had some of them at the bottom of the deck, which should signify that I had permanently removed them from the game and recouped one of my souls. And again, I had to pay 2 souls to receive one of them. So anyways, then I finally found a weapon that I actually was interested in, and that would be this short sword here. And so in order to get it, I had to have 15 strength, and fortunately for my warrior, I started with 16, so that was good. But I had to have 23 dexterity, which is not focusing, but 23 dexterity. So in order to do that, I had to level up my dexterity twice. In the campaign rules, the first is 4 souls, the second is 8 souls. So I had to get a total of 12 souls. And essentially the way that I did that is you've got a level 1 encounter, a level 1 encounter, and a level 2 encounter. And this will just illustrate just how the grind can actually go. So earlier on in the game, I just decided to walk into this level 2 encounter, and it ended up being a Sentinel. And if we look at the Sentinel card over here, you can see that the Sentinel has got a ridiculous 10 health, and he does 6 damage every single time he attacks. And since my character is a melee character, I have to be in the same area as the enemy in order to do damage. In this case, again, I don't have this weapon at the time, this was my stock shield. In this case, I was rolling 2 black dice, regardless of which attack I was going to use. He is the only enemy in this encounter, this level 2 encounter right here, which is the one that I'm illustrating. He's the only enemy in there, as you can see right here. He's the only spawn. So anyways, I had to get up close and personal, and I'm rolling a whopping 2 dice. He has 2 resist for my, or block, whatever you want to call it, for my 2 dice. So just to put this into perspective real quick, you know, let's roll 2. Okay, so great. This is a good roll, right? I got 3 attack. He resists 2 of it, so I would do 1 of the 10 damage that I needed. Okay, so now would be his turn. Actually, he would go first, and then I would go, and then he'd go again. But anyways, so in this case, he would now activate, right? So I get pushed. He moves. He attacks for 6. Okay, so he attacks for 6, and at this point, I've got my stock shield. It's giving me 1 die here, and I've got my armor. It's giving me another black die. So hey, we're rolling 2 dice and gonna block 6. Okay, wow. All right, we blocked 1. All right, great. So now we would add. This is from where I'm at right now. We would add 5 damage right here. I'm halfway dead. Now, sure, I could maybe use an Estus, or I could maybe re-roll one of those dice, but these are one-time effects. So, as you can probably see, this guy's, there's no way, I'm screwed. Unless I get better gear, there is no way I'm taking this dude down with my initial starting equipment. Okay, so then what am I gonna do about it, right? I've drawn a whole bunch of crap. I finally found something that's halfway decent, right? So my thought here is, okay, well, get the short sword. It's got an upgrade slot, so maybe take one of these 1,000 different gems that I found and put it in there and make a halfway decent weapon. And oh, by the way, you'll maybe have leveled up a little bit, so that future stuff you draw, maybe you can use. Okay, great, so let's do that. So here we go on our soul farming. And here we've got a level 1 encounter, we've got a level 1 encounter over there, and basically you just get into routine. So I know these two guys spawn there, and this crossbowman spawns there. And I know that as soon as I come in here, I want to go here. I know that these two dudes are gonna go here. They can't attack because they're melee. And this dude's gonna go here, and he's got a crossbow, so he's gonna shoot me. I know that's a magic attack. I know that does 3 damage. I know that I only roll 1 for magic. Okay, great. Well, that sucks. So I take my measly 3 damage. I don't even care. So now I know the next part of my routine is I'm gonna move into here for free as part of my walk action. I get 2 dice. I'm gonna use, again, these are only stock weapons. I'm gonna use this attack right here. So I'm gonna put 2 stamina down here so that I can use this. It allows me to attack everybody in the area with 2 black dice. So I roll my 2 black dice. More often than not, you're gonna get at least 2 damage. If we come over here to our Hollow Soldiers, I know that these guys only block 1 and they only have 1 health. So that's enough to wipe out both these dudes in one fell swoop. I then know that this guy is gonna go over here. He's gonna shoot me again. I roll 1. Okay, I took 2 damage. Don't even care. I'm at 5. I now know that the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to remove the 2 stamina cubes that I got from my previous attack. I'm going to put 1 back so that I can move 2 spaces up to this homie. I take my 2 dice again, and I'm doing a normal attack this time, so I'm not adding extra stamina because I don't need to kill everybody in the thing. I just need to kill 1 dude, right? So I can use my regular attack, which, so we can see here is 2. All right, so I roll these. Hey, I got 2. I come back here over to my crossbow hollows. They resist 1, they have 1 health. Okay, these guys are dead. Great, so then we move on. We come over here to this situation, okay? So at this one, this archer goes over here according to the situation. This guy goes here. All right, well, I've done this a few times, so I go here. That's where I want to start when I move into the room. This guy's gonna go first. There in the back left-hand corner, he's gonna shoot at me. He does 4 damage. I roll 2, okay, so I only take 1 damage because he's doing 4, I rolled 3. This guy is gonna move back 1. He's gonna fire at me, he's the same guy we saw over here, so he does 3 magic damage. I only roll 1 for magic, so that's 1 damage. I put my 2 down here, I'm not too worried about it. I'd spend 1 stamina, so I'm gonna go move 1 for free, spend a stamina to get into there. You guys saw these guys, they're fairly early, so I take my 2 dice, my normal attack. Hey, I got more than 2, that means this guy's dead. Let's go through the routine again. That guy shoots me for 4. Okay, I blocked 3, so I take 1 damage. In this case, I've only taken 3. I regain my stamina, because you regain 2, so I'd regain my 1. I'm then gonna spend that 1 again, so I wouldn't even move my stamina. I come into that guy's node, fire at him. In this case, this guy has got 1 health, like the others, but he resists 2. So in order to beat this dude, I have to roll 3 or more. And sometimes that can be a little pain in the butt. But that's why I do this scenario first, then I go do that scenario. So luckily for me, and this happens a decent amount of times, I rolled the 3 that I needed. I wiped this dude out. I now have 4 souls. I got 2 souls from this encounter. I got 2 souls from that encounter. Now, as you know, I can't go in here because this dude is just gonna utterly wreck me. I literally stand no chance whatsoever. So what do? I come back to home base. Okay? If I've accumulated enough souls to level myself up, which I just got here, I just got to 25, which means that I had to do 4 souls here and 8 souls there. That's 12 souls. What that means is I had to do, 12 souls divided by 2 per encounter, so that means I had to do 6 encounters. Okay, but more importantly than that is I have to continuously rest in order to reset these 2 encounters. So every time that I rest, I have to drop my spark down. If I ever get down to 0 sparks, I lose the game. So in order to increase my sparks, I can pay 2 souls to increase it. So basically what ends up happening is I get 4 souls, I come here, I reduce a spark, right? And then I increase that back up so that I didn't actually use that spark. So I go from 4 down to 3. I had gained 4 souls, so I spend 2 souls to go back up to 4 sparks. So I netted 2 souls. Okay, rinse and repeat, do it all over again, net 2 souls. Rinse and repeat, do it all over again, net 2 souls. Rinse and repeat, do it over again, net 2 souls. Sorry for the hard stop, my phone ran out of memory, but to do a quick recap, The moral of the story here is, unless you're changing these encounter cards, nothing in the game will change, right? And if I'm understanding the rules correctly, which maybe I'm not, right? But you're supposed to take these encounters and you're just supposed to flip them face down every time you go and rest at the bonfire, which doesn't actually change them. And once you've done them as many times as I have, you've got them memorized regardless of whether or not they're face up or face down, okay? So at this point, right, I could literally do this routine, this dance, forever, okay? And you don't even have to do where you spend, you gain 2 souls and you spend 2 to recoup one of your sparks, right? Instead, you could take your sparks from, let's say, 5 once you got all the way up there. You could go down to 4, net 4, go down to 3, net 4 more, go down to 2, net 4 more, go down to 1, net 4 more, right? So now you've netted 16 souls or something like that. You can start jacking yourself up. You can start culling through the deck, right? And as your character becomes significantly more powerful, you're going to make these 2 encounters, which are already unbelievably easy, significantly easier because you're a lot more powerful, right? And then now once you're down to only 1 spark and you don't want to lose the game, right? So you come back into these 2 scenarios, you net your 4 souls, but instead of using them to power yourself up, instead you go from 1 spark back up to 2, and then again at 3, because I'm only playing with 1 player, so it only takes 2 souls to regain a spark. And this is completely game breaking. I mean, at this point, you might as well decide, I could do this forever. Don't really feel like it, but I could. So why don't I just go ahead and save myself the time and effort, and I'm just gonna level myself all the way up to max level. And in the campaign, your max level, there's even a tier 4. So why don't I just go ahead and max myself up to max level? Why don't I just go ahead and search through every card in the deck and just figure out, what my best setup would be. And then why don't I equip all my armor and get everything situated exactly the way I want to. And then I'll go fight the boss. And then I'll go move on to, in this case, what would it be? On scenario 1, you'd go on to scenario 2, right? I mean, it's game breaking. And so I hope this illustrates what the grind is like. Number 2, what the problem is with this deck being as random as it is and how it can screw you at the beginning of the game. Number 3, how the encounters, especially in a solo game, at the very beginning, if you're not equipped for this, it does not matter how good you are at the game. Because if I'm rolling 2 dice, and I just want to go back to this, if I'm rolling 2 dice, this guy has got 2 resist. Somebody can mathematically, the odds are you're going to roll 2. This is a standard odd roll, basically. I'm going to do no damage. 0, zilch, nada. I gotta deal 10. Okay, meanwhile, this guy's got 6 attack he's dealing to me. Okay, and again, I'm gonna roll 2. You can do the odds again. Okay, the average is gonna be roughly 2, more like 2.25 or something like that, since, there's 2 2s on here. But even still, let's say my average is 2. Let's say my average is even 3. I'm still taking an average of 3 damage per activation. Whereas I'm dealing an average of a fraction of 1 per activation, assuming my rough math here is right, and I average 2.25 or 2.3 hits per roll. There's no way. This guy with his 10 health, which is the exact same as me, is going to kill me years before I will kill him. So, I could be playing things wrong. If I am, who knows? Maybe we'll delete this video and we'll play correctly and do another walkthrough / impressions. But again, I really just wanted to do this because I like the mechanics, but clearly something went wrong in playtesting because this should have been painfully obvious that this doesn't work. So anyways, if you have any questions, let me know. If I'm doing something wrong, let me know. And until next time, you guys have a good one.